the heart of a vast, green forest, where tall trees touched the sky and rivers flowed with crystal clear water, lived two elephants named Rudra and Arya. They had been best friends since they were young calves. Wherever one went, the other followed. Their bond was strong, built on trust, loyalty, and countless shared moments. Every morning they would walk together through the forest, searching for fresh leaves and fruits. They loved bathing in the cool river, spraying water on each other, and playing like carefree children. The other animals in the forest often admired their friendship. "Look at them," the monkeys would say. "That is what true friendship looks like." But one year, everything changed. A terrible drought struck the forest. Days passed without rain. The once flowing river began to shrink until it became nothing more than dry, cracked land. Trees lost their leaves, and food became harder to find. The forest, once full of life and laughter, turned silent and lifeless. The animals grew worried. Many began leaving the forest in search of better places. One evening, as the sun set behind the dry hills, Rudra spoke with concern. "Arya, we cannot stay here anymore. There is no food, no water. If we don't leave, we might not survive." Arya looked around slowly, his eyes filled with emotion. "This is our home, Rudra. We grew up here. How can I just leave everything behind?" Rudra tried to convince him, but Arya refused. He was deeply attached to the forest. It held memories of their childhood, their laughter, and their life together. Though they disagreed, neither of them chose to leave the other. Days went by, and the situation worsened. Arya grew weaker with each passing day. Without enough food and water, his strength faded. He struggled to walk, and often collapsed from exhaustion. Seeing his best friend suffer broke his heart. One morning, determined to save Arya, Rudra decided to go far beyond the forest in search of water. He walked for hours under the burning sun. His feet hurt, and his body was tired, but he refused to give up. Finally, after a long journey, Rudra found a small river hidden between distant hills. It wasn't big, but it had enough water to save Arya. Without wasting time, Rudra filled his trunk with water and rushed back to his friend. When he reached Arya, he gently poured the water into his mouth. Arya slowly opened his eyes. It was the first sign of hope in days. From that day on, Rudra made the long journey every single day. No matter how tired he was, no matter how hot the sun burned, he never missed a day. Step by step, he carried life back to his friend. Some animals watched in amazement. A wise old turtle said, "This is not just friendship. This is true devotion." Days turned into weeks. Rudra became weaker, but his spirit never broke. His love for Arya gave him strength. Then one day, something magical happened. Dark clouds gathered in the sky. Thunder roared, and soon heavy rain began to fall. The dry land drank the water eagerly. The river slowly filled again. Trees turned green, and life returned to the forest. Arya, with proper water and fresh food, gradually regained his strength. One morning he stood up strong again, just like before. He looked at Rudra, his eyes filled with tears. "You saved my life," Arya said softly. "I was wrong. I was too afraid to leave, but you never left me. You chose me over everything." Rudra smiled warmly. A true friend doesn't leave when things get hard. Friendship means standing by each other, no matter what. Arya nodded, understanding the depth of those words. From that day on, their bond became even stronger. They continued to live together in the forest, but now with a deeper understanding of friendship, sacrifice, and loyalty. The other animals often told their story to their young ones as an example of true friendship. And so, in that forest among the tall trees and flowing rivers, the story of Rudra and Arya lived on, a reminder that real friendship is not about convenience, but about commitment.